right, so we are here with Jamie Turner, the marketing maven. Just want to say thank you again for joining us, and glad to have you. Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, Patrick, I am an author, a speaker, and a marketing consultant, so I have written a couple of books, one called How to Make Money with Social Media and the other called Go Mobile, and they're both hot topics, and the Go Mobile book is the #1 best-selling mobile marketing book out there, and both of them provide insights into how people engage with new media, ranging from mobile apps, mobile websites, all the way over to social media tools like LinkedIn, Facebook, and email marketing, which I consider definitely in that social media category of tools.
Right, that's great. So tell me a little bit more about 60-Second Marketer. That's kind of how we got introduced to you.
Yeah, it's an online magazine for the marketing community. We get visits from around the globe, about 40,000 page views a month. And the people are typically small to mid-sized businesses that are interested in learning how to supercharge their social media or mobile marketing campaigns. We used to focus on just all forms of marketing, and as the blogging industry has kind of matured, you find that people start zeroing in on more and more focusing. So we specifically focus on social and mobile, and have a real active, vibrant community. It's a lot of comments, a lot of engagement on LinkedIn and Facebook and things like that, and then the blog goes out about 4 or 5 times a week, and then there's a weekly newsletter that's tied into it too.
Nice. So you said email is a social media secret weapon. Why do you say that, or what do you mean by that?
You know, it's funny. Every 5 years, there's the new sexy tool. So for the last 5 years, it's been social. For the next 5 years, it'll be mobile. 5 years before this current 5-year period, it was all about SEO, and to a certain degree at the time, email marketing. So it was just coming out into its own. I define any social media tool as a tool where you're having a kind of one-on-one conversation with a prospect. And email is one of those tools where you can have a one-on-one conversation with a prospect. And people tend to focus so much on the new shiny object, whether it's Pinterest or Google Plus or whatever, that they forget that one of the basic sort of most effective tools out there is email marketing, because it's a captive audience. When you have somebody drop into your blog for one visit and then never come back, that's a lost prospect. But with email marketing, you get to capture their data and remarket to them and build trust over time. So 75 or 80% of the visits to my blog are first-time visitors. And so you think about that, 75 to 80% of them are first-time visitors. That's actually not a good thing. What you want is people coming back regularly. And when you get somebody who is on your email database, you've now captured their information and they're coming back regularly. And that's where you build trust and really build the ability to sell more stuff to more people, because you've got that captured data. So bottom line is, yeah, I definitely think of it as a social media secret weapon.
Could you talk a little bit about a specific time that you used email to promote your social channels, and what were the results with that?
Almost every week. Maybe not almost every week, but every other week for sure. I go into our email subscribers and I say, hey, there's a conversation that we're having right now on LinkedIn, on our LinkedIn channel. Why don't you pop over and give us your feedback? And so one of the things that we'll do is always ask for something that's somewhat edgy or controversial and get their opinion. So recently I was interviewed on HLN, which is a division or used to be part of Headline News, now is its own separate network. And basically the question was, Facebook is thinking about opening up membership to people under the age of 13. Well, that's a kind of a pretty vibrant topic. So we put it on the LinkedIn page and then sent out an email blast about it saying, hey, guess what? We're having this conversation, and got a ton of feedback and people engaging with our brand in our community because of what we did with email marketing to drive people through to a traditional social media tool like LinkedIn. So that's the model we use, and it seems to work real well for us.
So you think it's more about creating engaging conversations rather than join us, like us here, tweet us here, and kind of the very just plain demands for attention on those other channels.
Yeah, the thing we track as you do, all the data that we can in terms of what gets people to click through on an ad. I mean, on a blog post, because we send out every Friday. We send out the e-newsletter goes out, and then we say, here are the blog posts you might have missed this week, and we can track which ones resonate with people the most. And as a result, we're able to really figure out what's working and what's not working. But to your point, what we try to do, whether it's with a blog post headline or with getting people engaged, is ask them questions to share their expertise and opinions. If you go out and you ask a question that is, what are your marketing plans for next year, you're not going to get a lot of response. But if you ask something like, when was the last time you Googled yourself, or what's your opinion on Facebook going after the under 13 market, you're going to get a lot of people engaged with that, because it's both of those questions are kind of interesting and thought-provoking and gets people engaged. So our technique is typically get a dialogue going that's a genuine dialogue as opposed to just like us or anything like that, and then to expand that dialogue by letting our email newsletter list know about it so that they can participate in it too.
Right. So, social's gotten a lot of buzz lately, but, and I think some marketers believe email is no longer relevant. What do you think about that?
Oh, they're totally wrong. And I say that before I met you guys. I've been saying that for a long time. It's the secret weapon. I'm psyched, in a way, in a competitive way, that other people aren't, sort of realizing the gold mine in email marketing. And it's purely a facet of what's the new hot item right now. And I speak all over the place about social and mobile, and I remember going in and there was a guy who was I was doing social and he was doing SEO, and he said, oh man, I used to do these speeches 5 years ago and I'd have a packed room, and now you're the guy that has the packed room. And it was just because it's the new sexy object. But the bottom line is, email marketing is part of the social media toolkit, so I see it as one and the same. But B, it's this secret weapon because you get to capture the data and remarket to them, and that's what marketing is all about. And I'm just flabbergasted more people kind of don't glob onto that and jump on board.
Who do you think can benefit from using email as a social media secret weapon? In one particular group, or are there applications for a lot of people?
There's pretty much applications for anybody who's selling stuff, which means everybody. In the end, if you're selling anything, and it doesn't matter if you're selling light fixtures for construction equipment to toothpaste, your job is to establish a relationship with your prospects and establish as large a pool of prospects as you possibly can. And so email marketing gives you that ability because you're able to kind of go out and really continue building a relationship over the long haul, as opposed to just doing one-off. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you have something to sell, there's nothing better to do it than a tool like email marketing, where you can go out and actually sell it as a tool. Sell your product through email.
Right. That's great. So you mentioned, in terms of some tips for, marketers trying to, use their email list to build their social following. You said create engaging topics. So do you have any other strategic tips for marketers who want to use the email to build social followings and, their presence in the other channels? Yeah.
Get out of the mindset of I'm selling something and get into the mindset of I'm helping somebody. And once you shift your mind over to I'm here to help this person, then all of a sudden you're providing them data and information that is better and helpful to them so that you can build that relationship that we were talking about. So the key thing is get out of the selling mode. Even though I've talked about remarketing to people, what I really mean is gently helping them along and then sort of subtly saying, oh, by the way, we sell widgets. And then they go, oh, yeah, that's right, they sell widgets. These guys are great people. They've been really good with all these white papers they've sent me and all that sort of stuff. And so they buy your widget. So the key thing is get out of the selling mode, get into the helping mode, and that'll help you as you develop your email marketing program, because it'll be in their best interest what they're receiving.
Yeah, that's great advice. And kind of in closing, do you think email is going to continue to be an important part of social strategy, or do you see email dying, in the next few years, or what's your kind of take on that?
Yeah, I think email is going to die within 6 months. I'm kidding. No, email's here to stay. What happens over the course of time is that new tools come online, but the tools that have been around a little longer, they don't actually go away. They stay there. It's just there's another new tool. So, for example, when TV came along, it didn't kill radio. It just was an additional tool on top of radio. And then when cable came along, it didn't kill network TV. It was just an additional number of channels to go through. And then when the Internet came along, it didn't kill TV. It was just one more way to connect with people. And then now we're into the social world and the mobile world, and all those tools don't supersede and kill previous tools. What they do is they add on to them. So email marketing is too important to go away. It's here forever, or at least for the foreseeable future, and it's not about to go away. And it is a secret weapon. If you can find a way to do it and use it, it can really build your ability to sell whatever it is you're selling.
Yeah, I think those are all some great points. And I want to thank you, Jamie, for joining us. And if you have any final thoughts or kind of any tips going forward for people who are trying to incorporate their email and newsletter campaigns with social, love to hear them.
Yeah. Just a final thought. Don't come off of this interview without checking out FlashIssue. And I apologize for the little ad there for FlashIssue, but you guys have a good product.
No apology necessary.
Yeah, you have a good product, and it's an interesting product, and it's different from other companies out there. So I think you guys are really onto something.
We appreciate your time, and encourage everybody listening here to go to 60secondmarketer.com. Check out Jamie. He provides a lot of really good insight. Got the chance to see him speak live, and it was a great experience for us. So we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and wish you the best of luck going forward.
Sounds great, man. See ya.
All right. Thanks so much.